Hello, welcome to the review lesson for Chapter 6, Section 1. This section begins on page 66. Go ahead and open your book to that page. But I want you to know this is only Section 1 of Chapter 6. The thing I'm going to teach you in Chapter 6 is a very, very big idea, and it's going to take a long time to teach it. So Chapter 6 is 4 weeks. This is just the first week, and it's just a general introduction to the main idea of this chapter. So, what am I teaching for 4 weeks? What are you going to be learning for 4 weeks? What you are going to be learning is something called focus pitch. Now, before I go into that, I do want you to know that on page 26, there is a picture of an American TV show here. In class, normally I would show you the video and ask you to look for something in the video. But because this is YouTube, I can't show you the video. So I'm going to try to imitate the pronunciation in the video. Again, this is one of the reasons why you should come to class, because many of the things I use as examples of what I'm trying to teach have copyright. So I can't show you this video. But I will try to imitate the pronunciation in the video. So in the video, two people were talking and they said the following sentences. I have already split the sentences up into thought groups for you. So in this little conversation, there are 5 thought groups, and each one is written on its own line. But what I want you to know is that even though speakers cut their speech into thought groups, they don't say everything in the thought group the same way. So I'm going to read you all of these thought groups one by one, and I want you to find which word in the thought group is said differently. Not all words in a thought group, not all syllables in a thought group are said the same way. Which word in this thought group is said differently? Ready? Here we go. So I have to go shopping today. So I have to go shopping today. So I have to go shopping today. I hope you notice that shopping was said slightly different than the other words. Let's go to the second thought group. Which is my least favorite thing? Which is my least favorite thing? Which is my least favorite thing? I hope you notice that least was said in a slightly different way. Let's go to the third thought group. I'm so bad at picking out clothes. I'm so bad at picking out clothes. I'm so bad at picking out clothes. The so in this thought group was said in a different way. This one's actually quite strong. Let's go to the next one. So you need someone who knows fashion. So you need someone who knows fashion. So you need someone who knows fashion. I hope you noticed that fashion was said different in a different way than the other words in the thought group. The last one, to tell you what looks good. To tell you what looks good. I hope you notice that looks is said in a different way than the other words in the thought group. Go to the next page, and you'll see the same thought groups, the same words, but each one of them has a black line above them. The black line represents pitch. So where the black line goes up, it means the pitch goes up. So what is pitch? Pitch goes up, pitch goes down. This voice change, pitch goes up, down. That's pitch. And what I want you to know is that all thought groups do this. The intonation, the pitch, is not flat. The intonation goes up and down in thought groups. And it's actually quite bumpy. And this actually leads to English fluency. And this is what we're learning for 4 weeks. We're learning something called a focus pitch. The intonation here where it goes up, that's focus pitch. And that's what we're learning over the next few weeks. So first, what is focus pitch and why should you use it at all? First, I just want you to know focus pitch makes a word stress syllable extra long. Word stress makes a syllable longer. Focus pitch makes it even longer than that. Also, focus pitch makes a stress syllable high-pitched. It means your voice goes up on that syllable. Your voice goes up on a focus pitch syllable. if you use focus pitch, you don't have to, but if you do use focus pitch, if your voice goes up on certain words in your English becomes easier to understand and it sounds better according to a lot of research. I also want you to know it has a secondary effect. Focus pitch can hide mispronounced words. Even if you don't pronounce each letter correctly, as long as the focus pitch is in a relevant place, then your partner will probably understand what you mean. So this has a secondary effect of hiding mispronounced sounds. I do want you to know that focus pitch is the name I'm going to be using in this class for this phenomenon, but there are lots of names for the same thing. Many different linguists have different names for the same thing. So for example, the Australian linguist Halliday calls this a tonic. A very famous American linguist calls this eye stress. They're talking about exactly the same thing, but they have a different name for it. A very famous American phonologist calls this a pitch accent. A very, very intelligent Japanese linguist calls this bun accento. But again, they have different names for the same thing. So go ahead and go down to focus pitch rule number 1. And this is what I want you to know about this. We're going to be learning about 9 different focus pitch rules. This is just the first one, but in some ways it's the most important one. Focus pitch is on word stress syllables. This is very important. Focus pitch doesn't happen everywhere. It only happens on word stress syllables. That's why we spent the last 3 weeks talking about it, essentially so that you could find where focus pitch occurs. So, also, the vowel in the stress syllable of a focus pitch word is extra long and high pitched. Whenever I say focus pitch, this is what I'm talking about. The syllable is longer and the high pitch is there as well. Your voice goes up on that syllable. That's what focus pitch is. So go ahead and go down. What I want you to know about focus pitch is that first, it's on word stress syllables, but it's also only on certain types of words. Focus pitch appears on words called content words, and these are the basic type of content words. So first off, nouns are content words. They can take focus pitch. Main verbs are content words. They can take focus pitch. Adverbs are content words. They can take focus pitch. Adjectives are content words. They can take focus pitch. And all of these words over here as well are content words. They can take focus pitch. So, where is focus pitch? First off, it's on word stress syllables. Very important. And next, it's on content words. It only appears on certain types of words, and even then, it only appears on word stress syllables. There are some important things to know about this, though. Although nouns and proper nouns are content words, they can take focus pitch. Pronouns are not content words. So words like he, you, she, it, they don't take focus pitch. Another thing to remember is that main verbs are content words, but the be verb and the modals are not content words. They don't take focus pitch. There's one exception to that rule, but in general, the be verb and the modals don't take focus pitch. There is one more exception to this, but it's rather enigmatic and nebulous, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip it. But I do want you to know in relative clauses, there's a special rule, but we don't need to really worry about that in this class because they're rare in conversation anyway. So here's what I want you to know, the second focus pitch rule. The focus pitch is usually a content word. About 90% of the time, it's a content word. There is an exception to this rule, which we will cover in a later class. But in general, focus pitch is on a content word. So on word stress syllables, and it's on a content word. If you remember both of those, you'll probably be able to find focus pitch. Go ahead to the next page. Now, I'm going to say these sentences, and I want you to count how many thought groups are in each sentence. What I want you to know is that the number of thought groups and the number of focus pitches in a sentence are related. So here we go. So for example, in number 1, if I need to buy something, I use the internet. Here there are 2 thought groups, so next to TG, thought groups, I write 2. So how many thought groups are on the rest of these? Ready? Whenever it rains, I get sad. I like cheesecake. I like cheesecake because it's sweet. Whenever I feel hungry, I go to Maruuchi because it's good. So here are the correct answers. Here are how many thought groups are in each of those pronunciations. Here it's corresponding generally to clauses, although that's not always true. Now the next thing I want you to know is that focus pitches and thought groups are related, highly related in fact. So I'm going to say the same sentences again, but this time don't count the thought groups, count the focus pitches. How many times does my voice go up? So again, pitch goes up, that's a focus pitch. How many times does my voice go up in each of the thought groups? Ready? Here we go. If I need to buy something, I use the internet. Whenever it rains, I get sad. I like cheesecake. I like cheesecake because it's sweet. Whenever I feel hungry, I go to Maruuchi because it's good. Now here is the list of correct answers for how many focus pitches were in the thought groups. And I want you to notice that the number of thought groups and the number of focus pitches correspond. They're the same. And the reason is because essentially there's one focus pitch for every thought group. This is a somewhat controversial idea, and some scholars don't agree with this, but I'm going to use this in this class. One thought group, one focus pitch. Remember this. One thought group has one focus pitch. Let's move on. Now, I'm going to give you one rule. I'm not going to prove it to you this class, but I do want you to know about this. At the beginning of a conversation, after greetings, the stressed syllable in the last content word in the first thought group is the focus pitch syllable and or word. So again, you have hello, hi, those are the greetings. Then the first thought group after that, the last content word in it, will have the focus pitch. So let me give you an example. If this is the first thought group, after the greetings in the conversation, the week and weekend will have the focus pitch. If this is the first thought group in a conversation after the greetings, then speech will have the focus pitch. If this is the first thought group in a conversation after the greetings, then box will have the focus pitch. Of will not have the focus pitch because of is not a content word. If how are you is the first thought group in a conversation after the greetings, then how will take the focus pitch because the be verb is not a content word and you is a pronoun, which is also not a content word. And the same thing will continue as this. We will be learning more about focus pitch over the next 3 weeks. This happens to be one of the one of the most important aspects and one of the most important things I will teach you in this class. So, good luck.